Hey everybody, Jillian here. Welcome to my channel for a brand new Bible journaling process video. Today is kind of just a spur of the moment video, something that I was getting ready to journal and thought it would be fun to just turn on the camera overhead and have you guys kind of watch it over my shoulder. So today I'm going to be journaling an entry in 2nd John, and I have a bunch of space down here, and I haven't in a really long time shared an entry where I had, this much space in the at the end of the book. Typically because this intimidates me. I don't like having this much space to journal because I often don't know what I want to put in there. But today I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do with this space down here. I've also got some shadowing from the entry that's on the reverse page here. It's not necessarily bleed through because it hasn't saturated the page on the back here, but you can definitely see the shading from some stamping and stickers and things like that. So I've got my Give Me Jesus journal here, and this is my quiet time journal. At the time of recording this, this is no longer available in the Life Lived Beautifully shop, but they are going to be restocking it, actually redesigning, revamping it, and restocking it later on this fall if you're interested in picking one of these up. I love this thing, and pretty sad that I have to wait until the fall because I'm already at the end of this. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and take my Bible study notes from 2nd John and the She Reads Truth study plan that I did alongside this and put it down in the margin here. I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on fast forward and get started now. So I'm going to go ahead and get my notes propped up there and then grab some stamps. I know that I want to use the homespun alpha stamps from Illustrated Faith, and I'm showing you a look at this black binder that I use to keep all of my Illustrated Faith stamps in. I got it from some big box craft store, and it was in like the Project Life section, the scrapbook section. With a 40% off coupon, you can pretty inexpensively pick up a 6x8 album and then several 4x6, like 2-up 4x6 page protectors, and store your stamps in there. Anyway, so I wanted to use the homespun stamps because I had so much space at the bottom and I knew that they would take up a good chunk of it. So what I'm doing first, just to get some color on the page, is using a few Faber-Castell artist brush pens, and I'm going to go ahead and list the specific colors and numbers down in the description below, so if you're interested in picking them up, you can. And I've been using this color scheme over and over and over again. This is maybe the 4th entry that I've done, not necessarily with these markers, but with this color scheme that was totally inspired by some scrapbooking collection from Aggie Holmes that I saw. And so I'm just reaching for the same thing over and over. Now here are those exact same colors and some acrylic paints that I had used for another project. Very inspired by the wonderful ladies that I follow on Instagram, and I wanted to try a little something that I had seen them do, and that is putting some white acrylic paint down around the page with a paintbrush. That's what I assume they use. And then go ahead and take a black pen and just draw some dots on that. I really like the look of it and wanted to try it out here. So I'm just isolating the stamps that I want to use from the stamp backers and then just kind of moving them around the page to see where they fit and where I want to stamp them down. So I'm doing this while the white paint dries so that I can go back later and draw on it. Now I have been getting a lot of like stray black ink on my page, so you'll see that in between each stamp impression I go ahead and after I stamp the stamp down on the ink pad, I go ahead and like clean off the excess with a baby wipe. That's so I don't have any like stray black lines on my page. It's been happening all of the time lately, and I think it's because I need a new black ink pad. I pressed down so hard to get the ink in. Anyway, I think that's what the situation is. So I have my phrase down there stamped at the bottom, and I'm going to use a lot of that like empty space in between to get my notes down because I have a lot of notes for this particular entry. So now you can see I'm taking the Illustrated Faith .65 precision pen and just putting some dots on these little paint swipes, or whatever you want to call them, these little spots of paint. And then I'm going to go back through with the Lists by Faith stamp set that came from that devotional, which is no longer available, but I still like to remember to use the old devotionals stamp sets. So the verse that I'm journaling today are in 2nd John, verse 6, and it says, "And this is love, that we walk in obedience to his commands. As you have heard from the beginning, his command is that you walk in love." So basically, I just isolated that phrase, walk in love, and stamped it down at the bottom. That's what I really wanted to take away from this entry. So I'm kind of paraphrasing what the contributor at She Reads Truth said about this particular book, but I am getting down this main point that I took away, which says, "To walk in love is to match my stride to the love of God, the King of the universe, who slowed his pace to meet ours." And I thought that was just so tender and so sweet, and I definitely want to just reflect on that and think about that every single time that I flip through here and look at this entry in 2nd John. So I'm going to go back to this stamp set from the List by Faith devotional, and because I'm working so close to the binding, I have to remember to kind of like move the stamp all the way to one side of the block so that I don't have the block get in the way and of the page. So I'm just going to take some things now that I have all of my journaling down, the color down. You can see I put it in a couple more places on the page just because I like things in odd numbers and I kind of wanted it to move your eye around the whole page. So I'm going back and just stamping in some of the empty spaces there. Then I had thought about using these mini hexes just to fill in a little bit more space, but I thought there were so many different elements on the page I couldn't quite make it work without seeming too busy. So that's pretty much it. This is what a normal weekday nap time journaling entry looks like for me. I've got a few close-ups here at the end. Thank you guys so much for watching and for allowing me to share. Be sure to check back next Wednesday for a brand new Bible journaling process video, and I'll see you then.